Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Daksina and I use B6 Stalogy for sort of mainly for planning, but also as just like a commonplace notebook for like quotes and notes, and I do my homeschool planning and other various things in here. So I did actually use 3 notebooks for 2021, which is last year, and I have done like monthly flips of these, and then I've done full flips of each individual notebook, but I did have several requests for filming something where I'm flipping through all 3 notebooks, and I don't think I've done that before in previous years, so I thought that would be actually quite a fun idea. So thank you for recommending that. And I'm going to answer some questions that I received on Instagram while I flip through these. I have received like a ton of questions, but let's see how many I can get through. Before I get started, I am actually going to take my Stalogy out of this Aura Estelle cover. This is a B6 Aura Estelle. Very, very roomy and spacious for like chunky notebooks. I do get asked about these vinyls that I put on here, so it just has the year and then it will say like book 1, book 2, book 3, so that just when I'm kind of referencing it, I will know, you know, sort of which which order they go in. I was doing 4 months per notebook last year, but this year I'm doing 3, so the end of this year I'll have actually 4 notebooks instead of 3. The vinyl stickers themselves I like make myself, and yeah, let's just kind of get started. I'm not gonna like I did get a request to kind of go through it quite slowly, which I'm not sure how slowly I can kind of flip through these pages, but I will do my best. I also just don't want to kind of be boring, so yeah. Okay, so this is the very first one. Actually, one of the questions was, do I do anything sort of special at the beginning of my notebook? So yes, it's not like setting up like a typical month setup will begin like this, but before that, you know, I do try and make it look kind of reflective of things that I like, my personality, my mood. Like I love everything sort of galaxy-ish. I love everything rain and thunderstorm related. I love blues and purples, so you'll see like a lot of that kind of stuff in the beginning of my planners. I also had a question about jelly sheets, like where you can purchase these ones or even just the clear ones with stars on it. So I always purchase mine from AliExpress. Very, very cheap. Like, I think they're like a couple of quid for a big A3 or A4 piece. At the beginning, I did have these like happy planner. Yeah, me and my big ideas, like photo pockets. And I did this like probably in all my previous Stalogies. I love attaching this like little photo pouch. It fits almost perfectly. I think I might have needed to trim down a teeny bit, but probably not even. It is meant for the happy planner, so it's got, you know, like those kind of punches here, which is why I didn't use clear tape. I used like washi tape, but I just love these like little yeah, memories to look back on. Unfortunately, I don't think they make these anymore because I haven't been able to find any in the UK at least. So in my like 2nd and 3rd Stalogy, you'll see that that's not there, which is a real shame. But yeah, I know they have like different sized ones and that, but I just really like this sort of layout of that size, and then the 4 square ones. My planner will be full of lots of acetate and vellum, like foiled things, because I do love tipping things in. A lot of this stuff I will print and cut and design myself, but there are some shops that I use which are always linked in the description box below. Again, I'm not going to be able to go through like where I purchase certain inserts and things like that. If you are curious, just look at my setup for that month. So like, you know, if you look at the January 2021 setup video, I go through in detail where I have purchased everything, or if it's something I've made. things like that. So let's just dive straight in. I hope the lighting is okay. The first question is, how do you manage so many things, being a mom, full-time job, homeschool, YouTube, etc.? I honestly don't manage everything. I try to live as balanced a life as possible, but yeah, obviously having, you know, homeschool responsibility is quite a big additional responsibility on top of like working and, you know, just day-to-day like parenting and housewife responsibilities. But it's just the best decision for our family, so we kind of make it work. My husband is a firefighter with London Fire Brigade, so he works shifts. So he does 2-day shifts, 2 night shifts, and then he's off for 4 days. So really he's only like out of the house 2 days out of every 8. And then he also does work, he has a second job that he works from home as well. So it's not like the rest of the time he's just, you know, available and free, but he does own his own like business, because he's got his degree is in, I want to say, civil engineering. So that's what he kind of does part-time from home as well. But he's, you know, he's got his own business, his own company, so he sets his own hours. So if I have like work meetings I have to attend outside of the house, or you know, I have to be at the temple for, you know, certain responsibilities that I have there, he will kind of jump in and, you know, do stuff with the kids, homeschool with the kids. He does a lot with them in terms of like, you know, I would say I'm probably the main home educator, but in terms of parenting, it's very, very equal. He will, you know, he takes them away to like India for 3 weeks a year. He takes them away on camping trips and to like all over Europe. He's very hands-on dad, luckily. So I do have a lot of support when it comes to that. And also my family don't live too far away, and my mom's a housewife, so she's, you know, always available to kind of babysit the kids, or, you know, sometimes they'll go there for sleepovers, if I have to travel for like child protection things, and my husband's working, then yeah, my mom's basically always there, and they're very close to, like, my kids are very close to both my parents. So yeah, my parents help out a lot. My sisters also, you know, I have like devotee friends from the temple. I have a huge extended family actually. So like at the moment my parents are both in India, and they've been there since last summer, since July actually, and they are coming back hopefully in February. But yeah, I know that if I ever need somebody to watch the kids, yeah, I've got like my lots and lots of aunties and uncles and tons of cousins, lots of friends. So I do have, you know, I'm very lucky, honestly, to have a huge support network and lots of people that I can rely on to help out with the kids, you know, people that I totally trust. And lots of our homeschool friends as well, like, you know, we all live quite close by, very nice community. The kids all have like, you know, friends similar ages to the people that I'm friends with. So yeah, I honestly do not do it all. I have a huge support network, which I'm just beyond grateful for. And I wouldn't be able to work and do my stuff as much if I didn't have that. Okay. Do you identify by page content? School, personal lists, washi swatches. And the other question is, do you do any separation by month? So basically, yes, my monthly, I will, you know, just keep going and going. I try and keep like my weeks together, so you'll see like Monday to Sunday will pretty much always be in one I will not put like notes pages or anything like that in between. And then after that week, there's nothing. It's blank pages to do whatever I want. Sometimes I take notes, sometimes I add decorative things. And then when I set up a new month, it's like, it will be tabbed, you know, with like tab tape or like another sort of bow tab or something like that. And I have it, you know, kind of like a standard setup. I have like a monthly overview to check off, another monthly overview for like decoration purposes, which I'm not doing this year. Sometimes I'll have goals, but I'm not really a big goal setter. Yeah. Then I have like my monthly calendar overview for appointments and things like that. And then, you know, so I do have, yes, separation of months. In terms of other things, I rely on tabs and tab tape to mark those things off. But they do all kind of follow the same pattern of setup. So I kind of know where to define things. So I know that this year, after doing my sort of memory keeping, I had menu planning and gratitude, and after gratitude was like pages about my family members, appreciations, and then homeschool pages would be after that. And then once my homeschool section is over, then my week just begins again. So in terms of like, setting up the month, I do try and keep, at least notebook to notebook, I try and keep the same layout for consistency's sake. And pages that I need to, you know, that have notes and references for later on, I will keep the tabs on there. Pages like my homeschool section, which I don't need to look back again at now, you'll see there's, you know, no tab there. But also these are not pages that will just kind of get lost, because I know straight after my monthly setup, that's where my home ed pages are. So yeah, I did also get a question about how I set up my homeschool pages. I have been homeschooling, I think 8 or 9 years now. And I am very like comfortable and confident in our homeschooling style, which is very kind of mishmash, relaxed, child-led in terms of like what my kids are interested in. So my planning is less planning and more record keeping. So I keep a little calendar to mark off how many days of school we've done that month, for no other reason than I just like to know, okay, we, you know, actually did 2 days this month. So like how did we spend our time? Or I can see that actually, yeah, this was a good month because we did 2 full weeks, then we had half term, and then another full week. So that's actually, you know, it looks like only 12 days of school, but that's pretty normal. I do sometimes write out, you know, things that I kind of want to work on with each kid, or like which book I want to kind of read aloud. And then I just do tracking. So I have these like sticky notes, and I always use like either I'll like use pre-printed sticky notes, or I'll print my own sticky notes, and then I will reprint them with a Peanuts Planner Co. tracker. I do have a video on how to print sticky notes. I have a video on how to print and foil your own acetate and vellum, and how to tip that in as well. So I will leave links for all of those below. But my homeschool trackers, I just keep a track of, you know, whether we've done all the basics, which for us is like morning program, which would be our spiritual activities. So like reading scripture together, learning verses from scripture, chanting together, having some kind of, you know, philosophical discussion, making sure that my kids are not just kind of regurgitating verses, but actually understand our philosophy, so that they can explain it to other people, but also that they understand it themselves. Morning basket, which is a variety of things. Like I kind of will do mini unit studies on different things. At the moment, we just finished off Japan, and we are still working on like climate change. So this will be mostly like non-fiction books that we'll read a little bit of each day. So we might have 3 or 4 books that we read every day, or I might select like 12 books and I'll pick 2 or 3 different ones to kind of read a little bit from each morning. But at the moment we are kind of just working through, like I said, a big sort of climate change unit study, and I've got several books that I'll just kind of read through, and we have discussions and things like that. So that's morning basket. Then I'll read aloud, I will do. Then the kids do maths with their dad. My eldest does her piano. I make sure we're working on some kind of like grammar or English, you know, copywork, handwriting, spelling, something like that. And then I think I've also added like games, exercise, yeah. And so subjects like science, history, geography, I might do sometimes, or it might even just be covered under morning basket. So we might do like tutors and just, you know, do a little bit of that each morning. It kind of varies. Like if I feel like there's something really important in terms of one of those, you know, science, history or geography that I want to cover with my kids, then that will become a unit study on its own, like a separate sort of thing. But yeah, it seems to work really well, and we've covered like so many different topics. Like here we did, my daughter was doing one on dictators. Yeah, I think my plan was also to do Middle East conflict with them, and we didn't quite get around to that. And then the pages following that are just record keeping. So I will write down, you know, a few lines every day of anything sort of, you know, specifically that we're working on. So here it might just say maths. Here there'll be more details that, you know, the little one's working on her timetables, and then for grammar she's doing adverbs and adjectives, so just a bit more detail. Yeah, and then any kind of progress they've made, anything where I feel like we need to focus more on, that kind of thing. So yeah, that is really nice, and that is kind of it for my homeschool section. Like I said, we are very, very relaxed homeschoolers, and I just honestly have seen that my kids, if they want to learn something, they will learn it, and if they're not interested in something, it's just a total waste of my time to try and force them. So yeah, we try and learn things that we all enjoy, and whatever they're interested in, and they seem to, you know, retain lots of things just by kind of me reading to them, and then we having discussions about it. They might do a little bit of writing on that topic. We play games, we watch documentaries or videos on YouTube. Yeah, that's kind of our learning. It's very, very organic. We'll get, you know, books from the library, things like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of homeschooling and separation. How do you use tabs and bows, tab tape, etc.? So I do actually have a video on my tab system, because it is something I've been asked about a lot. So I will link that below, and hopefully that will explain to you. But basically I use bigger tabs for more significant pages, and tab tape for pages that have notes or something different than just daily planning, but, you know, pages that I might not necessarily need to reference again, but at least I know if I'm looking for something, I can quickly flip to these pages, and it's going to be, you know, any notes that I've taken, I'm going to find in one of these tabbed pages, basically. What do you do if a page feels too empty? I think I've definitely gotten better over the years of using Stalogy in terms of allowing for empty pages. I don't like it to be like completely too blank, so I might just add a bit of washi or put a sticker, but like something like this, or like a sticky note. But I would be happy to just kind of leave that as it is, because yeah, I don't know, for me, I'm definitely attracted to white space. I don't feel the need to like fill in, you know, like here there's quite a lot of blank space, and I think before in the past I would definitely have put like a sticker here, but yeah, I kind of just leave it, to be honest, and it's kind of reflective of my day, that actually this day might have been a little bit busier than this. So yeah, I think I've just kind of, I think you know, generally I will leave it, but if anything, I might add like a sticker or washi tape. Or quote, advice on layering pocket deco, tips on gluing inserts on. So when I actually add like an actual loose page, I just use clear tape. I'll use a piece here and a piece here and a piece here. Again, I have a video showing how to do that. I will link that below. In terms of actually inserting, like sticking down inserts, I just use like either like something like this. I just use, what is it, like either glue or like a sticky tape runner, and I just use a few bits along the edges and yeah, just stick it in, to be honest. Are you hard on yourself when your ideas don't work? I think I've become better about it, but yes, I don't. I used to be quite a perfectionist until I got Hobonichi Cousin, and I have already filmed like a flip through of my whole like Hobonichi Cousin filled in, and you'll be able to see that there are pages in there that I just detest. I hate even looking back on it. I didn't want to share those pages, and I know some of you guys were very kind and said they were lovely, but I kind of just move on, because I think initially when I first started using Stalogy, I hated the first few pages, you know, when I was at that stage of trying to figure out how to use it, what layout looks good, how many stickers can I add before it looks too crazy. So that kind of experimental stage, I was, you know, it's not my favorite to look back on, but I've said this before, the best thing about a blank notebook is you literally just turn the page and move on. Like, you can just clip it together, you can just forget about it and move on. In terms of like, you know, ideas like setting up pages and things like that, yeah, it is disappointing, but at least it's still kind of figuring out what doesn't work for you. So I feel like, you know, finding out what works for you is really great, and then when you figure out something that doesn't work for you, actually that helps you also figure out, you know, it gets you closer to finding planner peace, because now you know what doesn't work and what you don't like. But yeah, there are like monthly pages that I've set up and I've been like, this is just, you know, not what I envisioned, and it's kind of disappointing, but you know, you get to try again. And my style has definitely changed and evolved a little bit over the years of like kind of, you know, planning, but I think with the Stalogy I've definitely perfected my system over the last couple of years. How do I start with a Stalogy for journaling? Honestly, I would say just write in it. I know a lot of people have this kind of like blank page syndrome, and so I would say start with a gratitude page, because you don't have to put any washi or any stickers. You just number the days and write one line per day of something that you are grateful for. Yeah, that's honestly my best thing, is to, if you're talking about specifically for journaling, start with a gratitude list and let it just kind of evolve from there. Write lists, write, you know, as appreciations about family members, write a list of like big things that you want to accomplish, small things you want to accomplish, house projects. Just find, like on Pinterest, there's a ton of like ideas of lists that you can make. Or if you're really into journaling, you can find journaling prompts. Just write out the prompt and then, you know, go for it. And don't worry about making it look pretty or nice. That will kind of come with time. Just, you know, something just as simple as like a strip of washi will, you know, look really pretty, or just one sticker even, but or some watercoloring, or, you know, there's lots of like very simple ways to make your journal look creative. Initially when I was like using Stalogy, because I always print my monthly calendar on Tomoe River paper, not this one, but generally. And when I was using just like this plain calendar for my appointments, what I was doing is I would print out this insert and I would actually before I printed it out, I would watercolor onto my river paper. So I'd just get a blank piece of paper and I would put lots of like different color watercolors on it, let that dry completely, flatten it out under some heavy books, and then I would print this monthly calendar on it, and it just looks, you know, really beautiful and like unique. So that's something like you can easily do, even if you're not like super artistic like me and you can't really like draw or color, like watercolor or paint nicely. Anybody can kind of, you know, just make random marks or like, you know, washes with brush and then write on that, and just something very simple like that is going to really enhance your page. But like I said, I wouldn't really worry too much about that just yet. Just kind of focus on yeah, writing and just making that first kind of mark on your page. Next question, what got you started on journaling? Well, I think in terms of, I had another question about when did I start planning. I think I started sort of really getting into the planning community around 2012, 2013. I saw like this, I was on Pinterest and I saw this picture of a lady carrying this like gorgeous pink Filofax, which I think everybody has seen. And then I kind of started looking at Filofaxes, thinking, oh yeah, actually I remember when I used to, you know, I've always had sort of a Filofax planner when I was younger, and then somehow I ended up on YouTube, and then I found Instagram, and that's kind of how it happened really. It just yeah, through that. And then I started like watching videos of people buying washi tape, and I was like, wow, what is this like washi tape? I've never even heard of it before. And then I very early on in my like planning career, I came across AliExpress and started ordering like tons of washi tape from there. I've since like given away, I would say like almost 99.9% of the washi tape that I purchased on there, because yeah, I've just kind of found my style is a little bit different to what I was initially just kind of buying and using. And then I've discovered like sticker shops. Obviously, I think now there are a lot more shops and digital shops available than there was at the time when I kind of started out. There was just a few sort of insert and sticker shops available. I don't think there was anybody in fact selling, I don't think like foiled vellum and acetate and vinyls, I don't think pretty much anybody was even using them back then. But in terms of journaling, I started reading the bullet journal book, I think 2020 or 2019, whenever it came out basically, and there was like a planner book club for it. And I just really liked what he said about recording, you know, moments from your day. And so I just made like a bit more of a concerted effort to do that, rather than just writing, you know, appointments and to-do lists. I started just writing very small things, like my daughter made pancakes by herself. And then it kind of grew from that. I decided to try out Hobonichi Cousin, so I could actually have a dedicated notebook for journaling in. I'm not a big journaler, if I'm honest. I would say I'm more like a memory keeper, record keeper. So I will write down things that happen during the day, not necessarily sort of feelings. I tend to kind of do better talking to my friends about stuff like that. So yeah, you won't see like huge sort of journaling pages. Sometimes I do get my feelings out on paper, but I don't know, there's always a part of me that's worried somebody's going to read it, so I don't have like a private journal all the time. I did in my previous weeks that I used this year, I did kind of try that at the back of my weeks, but again, the anxiety of like somebody finding it was just, yeah, just a bit too much for me. So I tend to not write private journaling. Yeah. We want to know if you'll ever make items to sell. It's honestly, it was on my list of things to maybe do at the beginning of 2021, and now it's on my list again this year, but I just don't know if I can add that to my already full plate. I would love to create, like, you know, vellum, acetate, sticky notes, just the things that I enjoy creating. Vinyls, I think I was selling like name vinyls on Instagram for a bit, you know, just open up like 5 slots and they would go like immediately, and I just realized if I had a shop I probably wouldn't be able to keep on top of it. Just the time it requires. Yeah, so I'm not sure. I'm definitely toying with the idea again of doing something similar in terms of just having, like, you know, starting off with like maybe 10 slots a week and then seeing how long that takes and if it's kind of worth my time and effort to do that. Yeah, so let's see. I would love to. I think probably I would only manage to do vinyls. I'm not sure I would be able to like do acetate and vellum foiling, just because there is a lot of sort of trial and error with that. And with vinyls, like I would say, I could do them in my sleep. There's like almost 0% at this point chance of me making mistakes with vinyls, because they're just so easy for me to do and I'm really quick at them, and I'm quick at designing them and cutting them and weeding them. But with like foiled vellum and acetate, you know, sometimes they can go quite wrong and they don't print really well, they don't foil well, and I think I would be more anxious about quality, you know, of offering those kind of products rather than vinyls. I think vinyls I'm very, very confident in doing. So yeah, let's see. I would definitely like to. I know a lot of people wanted like these monthly calendars from me, but you can see here like some of it, you know, I don't know if the ink didn't print properly or it didn't foil here as well, and that's fine for me to use in my planner, but I would not be able to sell that. And if I had like repeated mistakes like this, that's a lot of money, time, effort, you know, gone to waste. So I think that's probably my only hesitation with not selling foiled things. Okay, next question. What will you be incorporating that you didn't this year for 2022? I think the only thing that I've kind of done is moved my reference planner to my weeks rather than having it as a separate thing. And there's lots of things that I've kind of taken out, I think, like my menu planning. But yeah, I don't think there's anything that I've kind of added, if I'm honest. I think I'm pretty happy with the things that I do have. How long do you think you will keep all your old Stalogies? Ooh, really good question. I think forever. I will just probably have to start boxing them up and putting them away like in the attic space, like really carefully wrap them up like in bubble wrap and protective materials. But I can't imagine ever getting rid of them, if I'm honest. I want to have these for like when I'm old so I can look through them. And my kids also say like they love looking through my old notebooks, so I think they would maybe want to look through them as well when they get older. So yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to get rid of them. I cannot get over how full they are. Did you use the same number of pages each month? If so, how many? No, so I don't actually divide up my notebook at the beginning for like monthly sections. I just take it month by month, and some months I will have a lot more like notes pages than others. So there is no specific number of notes like pages per month. Usually when I get to like the last month, I will count out the pages to make sure I've got enough for my daily pages, which is for me like the most important. And then that way I kind of, you know that, okay, I've got like maybe 5 pages per week or only 2 pages per week for like notes and things like that. Sometimes I'll just even put like a little sticky note with the date on it, because I only set up like a week at a time. I will just go ahead and put the rest of the weeks on sticky notes, because I definitely don't want to run out of pages for my daily pages. I think that did happen maybe once or twice, and I had to just tip in like blank paper, but I try to avoid that from happening, because I have like, you know, my weeks now as well, so if I need extra pages in terms of notes, I can do that there. But it's really important for me that my whole month is in one notebook, that I don't, you know, on the like, let's say the 28th of January, I've run out of pages and I need like 3 extra pages. I don't want that to happen. But yeah, I think a lot of it is just that I'm so used to using this notebook that I kind of know roughly how many pages I have. Although having said that, this year like I said, I'm instead of 4 months per notebook, I'm doing 3 months per notebook. So that's given me a lot more kind of room to play around with blank pages, and because it's the first time I'm doing that, let me see. I did go ahead and just sort of divide the notebook into 3 sections so that I roughly know that this is for the last month. This, oops, is for February, and I've even marked like a halfway mark in February. So just because it's the first time I'm using sort of this layout this setup of 3 months, I have kind of divided it up a little bit, but they are just, you know, rough estimations. Like I've put tabs on them, but that doesn't mean you know, if I go a few over or a few less, it's no problem. How do you attach pages in as dividers? So again, I will just use sticky tape. There is a video I will link below. I think I already answered the question about what am I setting up, how am I setting up 2022. I already have a video for that. Homeschooling sections, I think I've covered. Homeschool planning, I've covered. Best inks to use in Stalogy. I do have a lot of fountain pens, but I would definitely not say that I'm an expert, so I'm not sure if I'm the best person to ask. But my favorite inks for the Stalogy is definitely the Diamine brand. They especially because I use like a fine or extra fine nib, they don't seem to bleed or shadow much. I do have some other brands which I am not mad about. This Waterman is very like pigmented, and it was okay for like Hobonichi paper, but for Stalogy I just don't really like it at all. I also have the Diamine black one, which is also not great, funnily enough, but all the other colors seem to be. So yeah, and then I have this Iroshizuku Yamabudo. Absolutely love this, by Pilot. Just, I think this is it here. It just writes beautifully, and there's like, you know, a little bit of shadowing, but no bleed through. But I do think it depends on the pen, it depends on the nib, it depends on how much pressure you use. There's a lot of variables when it comes to fountain pens and inks. So I don't know that I would be able to give like a blanket list of here are the pens and, you know, inks to use. What do you use your planners for? Yeah, everything really. I have like my appointments on here, try and plan out my day. I have always like a to-do list. I have got like work sections in these older ones. I have homeschool section, meal planning, random things that I'm trying to like, you know, figure out. I definitely started adding like notes and quotes to it. A lot of memory keeping, you know, how we spent our day. We had like 2 little piglets staying like over for a sleepover for my daughter's birthday, because she's like obsessed with pigs, always has been. So my sister kind of like, that was my it was a birthday present from my sister. She had like 2 little piglets, Ella and Miracle, over, and I just had to write some rules for like how to look after them. But yeah, pretty much anything. It's kind of like anytime a thought pops in my head of something I need to do, or something I want, or something I want to remember, I will just write it down. And if I don't have my planner to hand, I'll put it on my phone. But then I always transfer it in here, because I know that if it's in my phone, when I change phones, it gets lost, or I'll delete the note, or it'll get lost in between, like, you know, text messages or whatever it is. Here it's kind of archived for life. So I do try and transfer things into my notebooks. Where do you usually buy your stationery? Please name 2 or 3 most popular stores. Again, all my favorite shops are linked below in the description box, as well as any coupon codes that I have. I think I spoke previously about this and said I'm not actually doing PR for any shops at the moment, and probably don't plan to for the foreseeable future. So yeah, there might not be any discount codes. I just kind of wanted to take a bit of a break. But yeah, all my favorite shops in terms of washi, stickers, they are always linked below. And these are shops that I have purchased from for many years and had consistently great service in terms of product and in terms of customer service. So I don't ever do like PR for shops where I've never purchased from them, or where I have purchased from them and then I've just not, you know, if it's not something I would use, it's not something I'm going to recommend. So I only apply for, you know, to do PR for shops very rarely, like maybe 1 or 2 shops a year. Generally it's just like, you know, if I have friends who have shops, they will kind of send me things and then I will share them. But again, unless I love the products, genuinely love them and use them, I don't, you know, I kind of make it very clear that thank you, but, you know, I won't be able to accept your happy mail. So yeah, that is the end of book 1. The rest is just like notes from friends or notes that came in happy mail, things like that. Washi swatches, I think that's the end of that. So that is book 1, and that took a lot longer than I thought, but I'm just going to crack on with book 2. And if you guys are bored, you can obviously switch off. No offense taken. Well, since I won't know that you've done that, definitely no offense taken. Okay, do you do any mid or long-term goal planning? If so, can you talk a little bit about that? Thanks. I don't really do any goal planning. I've never really been somebody who sets goals. I find like it's just too much pressure for me. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I like to have, like, you know, trackers for things, and that lets me see how well I'm doing on things. But I don't have you know, I might kind of have intentions that, okay, I want to work out 3 times this week or 4 times this week, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily like goal keeping. I know it's like a huge thing, and I know lots of people are, you know, really do see the value in it. It's just never really worked for me, unfortunately, so it's not something that I do. So yeah, sorry, I'm not the best person to ask about that. What are your favorite non-planner related things, like color, food, etc.? Well, some of the things I love, I'm sure, like if you follow me on Instagram, or even if you've watched my videos for a while, is that, you know, I love rain. In fact, it hasn't rained here in London for a few weeks now, and there's no rain in the forecast for a long time, which is not unusual. But it's just kind of making me feel very, like, my mood is kind of, I wouldn't say low, but I'm very irritable, and I know it's related to that, because you know, like how some people get very sort of like seasonal depression in winter because there's just no sun and it's just every day it's just grey and miserable. I'm kind of the opposite. If it doesn't rain, I start feeling really sad, and it's definitely not like seasonal depression, but I just feel a bit lethargic and yeah, irritable. And I noticed the other day that I was a little bit short with my husband and kind of just snapping at him a bit, and he was like, oh, what's going on? And I was like, I don't know, I'm just feeling a bit grumpy, and it's not that I'm premenstrual or anything like that. And then I thought about it yesterday, and I was like, God, it's just because it hasn't rained, you know, and it really does affect my mood a lot. So I love rains, I like rain, I love a good thunderstorm. I always say to my husband that I want to actually move somewhere where it rains like every day, all day. And he's like the total opposite. He gets really depressed when there's no sun. Like he craves sunshine and warmth, and yeah, I'm the opposite. I mean, I like summer and I love being by the beach and things like that, but I'm happiest when it's raining. What else? Colours. I love purples and blues. I love sort of mustard colours as well. I love red. Love, like, I'm not really a pink person, but you wouldn't know it to look at the amount of pink washi tape I have. Yeah, I seem to have, like, as like a planner person, I seem to love pink. Here you go. But in general, in life, I'm not a massive pink person. But I do have like a few pink cardigans and a few pink pens. But yeah, I'm not hugely like pink person. I love like galaxy, celestial things. I love like watching the stars or watching the moon. I could sit in my garden and like watch the moon for literally hours. I would love to go see the Northern Lights, the Aurora Borealis in Norway or Finland or somewhere one day. That's like my dream. And we were actually supposed to go, my husband was going to take me last year for our anniversary, but obviously COVID. What else do I love? I love to drink chai. I love Indian food. I grew up eating Indian food. My mum makes like the best. She's like an amazing cook, and she makes everything like very spicy, like lots and lots of chili. So I do like spicy Indian food. I love pizza. My favorite food is jacket potato, which I realise a lot of people don't know what that is. It's just a baked potato, but we call it a jacket potato here because when you cook it in the skin, it's like the skin is the jacket. So yeah, jacket potato with like lots of butter, cheese and baked beans like is my perfect meal, and I could eat that, no joke, for like days and days on end and not get bored of it. And when my husband actually takes the kids to India around like October, November time for 3 weeks, I would say 90% of the time that's what I eat. That's what I eat. It's just like comforting and filling, and just, you know, it's got your carbs, protein, fat, just like a complete meal. So yeah, that's my favorite meal. Yeah, I don't know actually what else. Let's see, what are the other questions? Can you share the reasons you homeschool? I think your eldest was in school for a while. Yes, both my kids were in school. My little one only went for a year, and the eldest was in there like for a couple of years. We've kind of always just wanted to try it out, and then we just decided, you know what, let's just give it a go. I can't remember what I do remember. My daughter was reading from a really young age. My eldest started reading when she was 3.5, 4 years old. By the time she was in nursery, she was reading fluently. And unfortunately in her like school, she just, even though it was very, you know, small school. It was a school like at the temple. She just wasn't challenged in terms of, you know, reading. So she had to actually go into the older kids' classroom for a lot of her like English work, her maths work, even her writing. And I think we just decided, like, you know what, we can just do this at home rather than her kind of having to switch between two different groups of people and friends and classes. And not that it was unsettling for her, because again, it's a very small community school, so she knows all the kids. But I just thought, actually, let's just try it at home. And my husband was like probably more into the idea than even I was. But yeah, that's what we did. And then when my little one came along, she was actually born in the same year as so many other kids of like my friends and social groups. There was about 14 to 15 kids that, you know, all kind of grew up together as babies, and like we'd hang out regularly at the temple, go for walks. Two of them being her twin cousin brothers. Well, they're my cousin's kids, so like but like we're all very close, so they're kind of like her cousins. And so they were all going to go to school, and I felt like at this point we were homeschooling my eldest, and I felt like if I also homeschooled Ishfri, the younger one, I was depriving her of this, like, you know, really tight social and friendship group that she had. So very reluctantly we kind of decided that, okay, she would probably go to school so she could be with all her friends. And then I thought, well, I can't have one kid in school and one kid out of school, so maybe Vishaka should also go back to school, back to the same like sort of temple school. And so they were both in school for just 1 year, and unfortunately we had like some issues. I just wasn't happy with the way the school dealt with like a safeguarding issue that came up, and obviously because I'm in child protection, for me it was like just alarm bells. And I just thought, actually, I'm, you know, there's not really a way to work through this with the school, and I wasn't really satisfied with how they dealt with it and how they were dealing with us for like being concerned. And so I just thought, well, actually, then I'm just not gonna have my kids in the school. And so I took the little one out, and then the older one wanted to stay because, you know, she'd kind of made friends and things like that. So she actually stayed on. So I was homeschooling just Ishfri for a year. And then again, I had the same issues of like, you know, one kid in school, one kid out of school, which meant that we're still tied down to school hours. So like all the activities that we do have to work around school hours, and it wasn't really working. So we kind of had a conversation with Vishaka and said, you know, would you like to kind of come out and be homeschooled again, or are you happy to stay in school? And at this point she said, yeah, actually, you know, I would be happy to come out. So this was like, she would have been 9 or 10. She would have been like basically at the end of year 5 in the UK. She came out again, and she'd been in school for 2 years at this point. And yeah, in year 6, like kids over here have like lots of exams for getting into high school, and she could see that the year above her, you know, her friends, the older kids were like just basically reduced to tears from the stress of these exams that they were having to study for. And she just didn't fancy that for herself. And so she said, actually, yeah, I don't want to do year 6 at school. I'm happy to come out. So then, yeah, we had both the kids out, and it's just been the best decision, and never looked back on it really. So yeah, that is the story of our homeschooling. And, you know, we love it because it just gives us freedom to do what we want, to have like a very child-led school. We can travel when we want. If we decide actually we woke up today and everyone's really tired and exhausted, we can just have a reading day, or we can just go for a walk. We get lots and lots of like quality family time together. We are very, very close family. Like my teenage daughter, who's like 14 now, going on 15, she, like, you know, we have a really nice relationship with her. She kind of talks to me and her dad both about sort of, you know, issues that I would never have kind of confided in my parents about. So it's nice. We definitely have like very solid relationships with both the kids. And we get to do lots of, you know, spiritual activities. Like in the morning we get to spend time doing our scripture study and worship. You know, we can go to the temple in the morning together without having to like rush home to get ready for school. Evening times there's no homework, so we get to like just play games or watch documentaries or a movie. So yeah, mainly like the freedom and the quality time with our kids, and being able to, yeah, spend time kind of doing our devotional activities together is our kind of motivating thing that keeps us going in homeschool. And I can see the kids flourishing, and, you know, if I ever felt like actually this is not the right choice for us now or for the kids, it's always an ongoing conversation. You know, like when Vishaka reached a certain age, we were like, okay, well, look, you're about to start your GCSEs now. Do you want to go to school to do that? So yeah, it is definitely important that they are on board with it as well, and they're happy with the decision. So yeah. Favorite IG or YouTube you follow and like to watch? There are really so many. Like I love, I actually only follow, I would say like less than 250 people on Instagram, because I actually want to see what people are posting. I don't want to have like just, you know, be following thousands and thousands of people and then I'm not actually seeing their posts or not interacting with them. So I have deliberately always kept that number quite low. I follow accounts that I'm, you know, not like, if, you know, I know there's lots of people who use Stalogy in exactly the same way as me, and that's, you know, that's really great. But those are not necessarily the accounts that I might follow, because I guess I'm looking for like inspiration as well. And if someone's kind of using it in, you know, an identical way to me, I always look at the hashtags. I always like comment and like people's pictures and things like that. But the accounts I follow are accounts where people are doing something slightly different to me. And yeah, I think my favorite, like all-time favorite always is SM Plans, like Sierra. I just love everything she does. I love the way she uses her notebook planners, her ring planners. I love her YouTube videos. So yeah, she's definitely one of my favorite people to follow. But yeah, I do follow a very small number of people comparatively, I guess. Like I said, it's not like I hope I'm not coming across as like, you know, sort of snobby or picky or anything like that, but I actually want to, yeah, see the things that people post, rather than I'm just following loads and loads of people and then I can just never watch their stories or never follow their posts. So for that reason, I do keep that number low. But yeah, if you can just have a look on there and see who I follow, those are the people that I kind of get inspired by, and I love the, you know, I love their sort of page, the photos they take, or I love the stories they share, or I love the posts that they write, you know, the captions for their posts. Yeah, and I do love like photography. I love taking like beautiful pictures, and I obviously combine that love for photography with my planner and take lots of nice photos. So that's why I do also like, you know, planner accounts that have like very beautiful pictures of their planners, but that's not, you know, that's very secondary. Like the main thing is that I'm inspired by how they're actually using their planner. Current favorite pen. Well, my all-time favorite pen is always the same one, which is a Uniball Jetstream 0.38. My current one, I would say between my Vanishing Point and my Delight fountain pen, which is like extra fine, and this is probably the finest nib I own, and it's like a very heavy sort of pen, very, very beautiful to write with. I did purchase mine from AliExpress. I think they're like less than a tenner, or at least they were when I bought mine. I have a blue and I also have a pink one somewhere. Not sure where the pink one is. But yeah, I have another D-like as well in this sort of like colour. I don't know if that's coming up. That's also D-like, but the newer ones seem to be more this is like less heavy, and it's definitely more plastic than metal, I would say. But anything sort of extra fine is what rocks my boat. Do you have a home maintenance planner? I am thinking of making one for 2022. I did used to have like a separate project planner. I kind of used it a lot when we were doing our homeschool room, but we don't have any major sort of projects happening at the moment. We have lots of ideas of what we want to do, but because I've got nothing on at the moment, I'm kind of just doing it in my weeks. I have like a home project page at the back of my weeks, and I'm gonna try and do it all in there, and if not, then we'll see. I might go back to my sort of Filofax one, but I am hoping to just be able to do it in my weeks. Would you ever do a shop with me at Muji video? Yeah, definitely. I do go into Muji like loads of times, several times a month, because there are like 4, maybe even 5 in central London around like where I go into, you know, central regularly. It's like takes me an hour to drive in, or like 45 minutes on the train. So yeah, I could definitely do a shop with me at Muji, although I'm trying not to buy anything else because mainly I love their pens, and I just have so many pens. But yeah, next time I go and I like make a purchase, I will definitely film that. Do your husband and children keep planners? Husband, yes. I will try and show you guys his planner. He's like cut into color coordination, and he writes really tiny, and mostly it's for his engineering work that he does, you know, to keep a record of like which clients he's doing work for and things like that, deadlines and stuff. He was using my, I can't remember what the name is of the planner now, but he was using that the year before last, and then last year and this year I'm pretty sure he's been using Muji planners that I got for him. My daughter, again, the eldest one, yes, she has a planner for schoolwork, and she has like probably like 15 notebooks on the go. She has like a 5-year journal, then she has like a 3-year Q&A journal, she has like a gratitude notebook, she has like several story writing books that on the go. Yeah, she's like me, she loves writing. She has just so many notebooks. I'll see if there's any that she's willing to share. The little one also has tons of notebooks but never writes in them, or she'll get into, like when she gets a new notebook, she'll write in it for a few pages and then it's gone, and then she'll be like, oh, can I have this other notebook of yours, or can I buy this? And then again she uses a few pages, and it's just yeah, added to the collection of unfinished notebooks. But sometimes we do have like, you know, planning dates. We'll kind of all sit together and get the washi out and stickers, and they'll kind of, yeah, use all my stuff, which is nice. My little one loves washi tape. Like, she just loves washi tape. So when I have like a big clear out, she gets first dibs on what she wants before I kind of give it to friends. Do you hold on to unused covers from ring bound planners or TN covers? I have. I'm actually trying to get rid of my ring bound planners, especially in personal size, but I just don't know what to do with them. if I ever go to like a planner meetup, I will just take them and kind of give them away there, because they're not something I'm ever going to use again. They're not really things I would sell either, because I just can't be bothered with the hassle of like posting and packaging it all, if I'm honest. So yeah, I have several Webster's Pages ones that are really beautiful and like out of sale, like, you know, they're just not available for sale anymore. And yeah, let's see. I will destash them. I have loads of standard TN notebooks. I think that's kind of the end of this book as well. Yeah, I just have my London Gifties washi. Okay, great. Nearly there. Last one to go. Yes, I do have tons and tons of standard TNs, which I will never get rid of, because that is a size that I love and will probably go back to at some point for something, even if it's just like, you know, planner in the car or something like that. My goal this year is to actually cut down a Stalogy to standard size, so I can have a very thick Stalogy in one of those TNs. And I've no idea what I'm going to use it for, but it's obviously a Stalogy is undated, so yeah, let's see. Do you have stickers and washies mainly to promote, or do you love them? Yeah, again, like I said, I don't promote or share anything that I don't love. So I actually meant to use these pages up. I had sticky notes on them, and then anyway, yeah, I don't share anything that I don't love. I do get lots of people, you know, smaller shops kind of asking, can I send you, you know, some of this, like this planner or this, not even smaller shops, you know, sometimes it's like sort of bigger companies that, can we send you this or can we send you that? And unless it's a product that I've already purchased from them previously and I've been happy with the product and customer service, I always say no. So even with like when I was doing PR for Create with Pen, I've been shopping with her for so many years, like probably when she first opened up. Her and her sister had a shop as well, and I was, you know, buying stickers from her for many years before I kind of applied to be on her PR team. Same with the style planner, I was buying from her shop for a long time. Yeah, I don't ever do PR or agree to be on a PR team unless I love the products that I use. And even like with the washi tape shop, I was purchasing from them, and then they kind of contacted me and said, you know, can we send you some happy mail? And I said to them, yes, as long as I can choose what you send me, because I am very particular about, you know, what I use. So they were like, yep, sure. So I picked out a few washi tapes that I know that I'm going to use and love. And they did send me some extras as well, which some I absolutely love and adore. And I was like, wow, thank you. And others that I know are not really to my taste, which I made it very clear to them that I'm happy to do an unboxing and swatching of them, but they're not things that I'm going to feature in my planner, you know, because it's not something kind of I would use. But yes, so they kind of, my kids will use them. But as a company, you know, I love the products they offer. I love the washi. So I'm always happy to kind of share what I purchase or what they send me. Lauren Phelps Designs, again, like she's just very kindly always sent me lots of happy mail, and I love everything she does. So, you know, even before I was kind of like when I just purchase things from her, I'm always happy to share her shop, because I think her shop is amazing. I think she's amazing. She's a very creative person. So always happy to support her shop. Same with London Gifties. Again, some washi tapes I purchase, some she sends me, a lot she sends me in happy mail, which I'm just very grateful for, because really, I just love everything she does. Everything she creates is stunning and beautiful, and there's maybe like in all the like hundreds of rolls that she has sent me, there's been maybe a handful that I think, okay, that's probably not something that I would use again. But yeah, these were all from London Gifties. Just, I mean, incredibly beautiful, and the colors, the patterns, the foiling, so unique, and I just don't see anybody else in the market kind of offering the same style of washi that she does. And it's the same with all the other shops as well, like even the products that Lauren Phelps Designs offers, I don't see any other shops offering similar things. So yeah, I am happy to receive happy mail from shops if they reach out, and I've had good experience with them and I've purchased from them before, and I know that I'm going to be happy with what I receive. But again, like I said, this year I'm kind of not really doing that anymore, just because I also have like so much stuff, and it's as much, you know, like as nice as it is to receive happy mail, I have to constantly have like clear outs of stickers and clear outs of washi tape and give away things that I do love, but I just know that I just don't have space for all of it. So yeah, I kind of am not doing so much of that this year. Do you use a phone as well for timed appointments, or only in your planners? Yeah, I do use my phone. Only because recently, I would say the last few months since September, my life is kind of a lot busier than usual. I know I'm always saying my life is busy, but sort of busier. And sometimes I'm like back and forth between the temple like 3 times a day, and some things come up very last minute. So even though I've put it in my planner, because it's very newly put in my planner, I could easily forget about it. So I do put an alarm to give myself like an hour to 45-minute warning that, okay, you've got this thing, don't forget about it, you've got to get ready and leave. So yeah, especially for things that are not regular. So like I know that, okay, every morning on a Monday my daughter has art, or every Wednesday afternoon my other daughter has piano. So those things are so regular, they're kind of ingrained in my brain. But if something comes up, like I've got to make a phone call, a really important phone call on Monday at 10:30, I know that I will look at my planner, but I might not look at it in time, or I might not look at it at, you know, like first thing. So I will put an alarm on my phone for that as well. But then in my planner, it's almost like record keeping as well, that, oh yeah, this, you know, this conversation happened on this day and this time, whereas my alarm doesn't, you know, that's not going to be reflective of that. How do you allot pages and space for your categories? So again, some things have very specific allocations in terms of like daily pages, homeschool pages, but other pages I will just, you know, after my week is set up, I will just use as many notes pages as I need, and sometimes there's not even any notes pages needed, so I will just go straight into the following week. The next question is, have you ever read a book that inspired you? Yes, loads, but obviously now I have to think about it. I can't remember. So if it comes to me, I will definitely put the names below in the description box. What's your favorite way to read books? Digital, paper, or audio? Definitely paper. I love paper. I don't like reading digital books at all, so my second favorite would be Audible. I like, with the kids, we listen to so many audiobooks that I never did that before I had children, but now like we did the whole Hobbit that way. We do like lots of longer books as audiobooks, like in the car or even in the afternoon. We kind of stick it on while we're doing laundry or something like that. So I've kind of gotten into the habit of audiobooks, so there are some that I listen to myself as audiobooks, but I just love paper, and I love to like mark my books. So I will have like books that will have like underlined things or highlighted things or notes, and it kind of freaks a lot of people out, I know, but I'm sorry, I'm definitely one of those people, because I can't just sit and read. Like I have to actually understand and absorb the information, and there's always things in there that I have more questions about or that I want to remember, or I want to copy into my planner. So my books are always sort of marked. Even my scripture books, if you were to look at them, they're like, yeah, covered in markings. Have you ever tried a goals planner? No, because I don't do goals. Don't you get irritated with the hump of the notebook at the end of it? Sometimes, yeah, like when I get to sort of around here and it's like you can't really write, but I'm kind of used to it now, so I just put a little bit of washi and make do with what I've got. So that's the price to pay for a chunky notebook, which I don't deliberately try to do. I don't ever think, okay, I'm going to make this as fat as possible. It just happens very organically from all the things I kind of just tip in. Do you look at your planner through the day, or do you just check it once in the morning? No, I have it open, so I will look at it once in the morning. I try to, but then I will have it always open on like the whatever day I'm on. But sometimes I don't always carry it around with me in the house. So, yeah, recently I've been really bad at checking it, actually, like just terrible. Love these. Do you integrate digital planning? No digital planning for me at all, other than like using my phone for alarms. I don't do any digital planning. Did you enjoy your Christmas? I did, thank you very much. My parents were in India, as I said, so my family, my siblings all came over to us this year, which was really nice. I mean, even at my parents', I generally kind of like, we all cook together, but I do the main thing, which is like just like a really nice vegetarian lasagna and loads of roast veg, and my family makes like all the desserts as well, because my daughter's like really good at baking cakes and stuff. So but yeah, it was really fun, and we always have like lots of family games, and then in the evenings like my cousins come over as well, so that's nice. Do you have a not for public eye journal? Like I said, yes, last year I did at the end of my, like at the back of my weeks, but no, this year probably not. I think if you have something that's not for public eye or not for other people's eyes, it's better not to have something. That's just my personal sort of understanding. I'm aware that as soon as I put it down on paper, there is a chance somebody will read it, and I have to be okay with knowing that, and if I'm not okay with it, I don't put it down, or I'm very vague about writing, so people, you know, might read it but not have a clue what I'm talking about. What do you have blank pages? What do you do? What is your method to fill blank pages? Again, sometimes I use stickers or washi, sometimes I'll add a quote, other times I've just gotten comfortable with leaving blank space. I'm going to try and get through these a little bit quicker now. Ways to set up so it's not too big a writing commitment at the start of your journey. I don't know. I think if you just use it as a daily planner or for lists, then there's no commitment. And you don't even have to set it up as a day per page if you feel like actually now there's pressure to fill the page. You can just put Monday and then write a list, and then Tuesday when you're, you know, when you're done with the page, like typical bullet journal style of planning. Yeah, sorry, I don't really know how else to. I always set up my week, and it's true, like especially at the weekends, I don't have, you know, my pages aren't always filled up, but I don't feel like, oh my god, I've wasted a page now. I'm just like, well, that's just life. How do you deal with mistakes? I think I covered that, but I basically just move on. Like I know that I'm not perfect, and I'm actually not a very creative person. I think I've spoken about this before, and my like creativity comes from being desperate to be creative, and I I'm very basic in how I use my things. Like I see people who use, like when I look at the London Gifties hashtag or excuse me, or her page, like photos that she's tagged in, you know, the way people use her washi tape is incredible. Like the journaling spreads they do is stunning. It's just so beautiful and creative, and I'm like, oh, there's boring old me just, you know, sticking a bit of washi tape here and there. So yeah, I don't actually see myself as a very creative person, but I love color, I love stickers, I love washi, and so I just use it. I just use it how I think, you know, looks good. And whenever I try and copy or imitate somebody else's stuff, it just looks awful and terrible. So I think I've learned that stick to, you know, like obviously try different things, but be prepared that it's never going to look exactly like what the other person's page looks like. So yeah, I with mistakes, I just kind of turn the page and forget about it, and, you know, try to be a little bit me and a little bit less other people. And that seems to kind of work out for me. This might be personal, so you don't have to answer. How to get involved with your child protection organization. Yeah, I'm probably not going to share details of which specific organization I work for. I have said before it's an international charity, but I don't want to, you know, because sometimes there are like names and things in here that are very, you know, general, in that if nobody knows who I work for, it means nothing. But the minute I kind of mention who I work for, you know, there might be people who kind of can connect the dots and things like that. So I am not going to answer that, unfortunately. I think I missed a page there. There was another question about, do you ever struggle with filling your pages, busyness of life, burnout, too much going on? Yeah, I think recently more and more it's felt like I've set up my, you know, week, and this is fine because it's a day per page, but recently I've gone back to like day per 2 page. So it would be more like, let's see, like these pages here, where I have generally like a timed daily to-do list, and then on this page I've left blank for notes, but I have just found myself not needing this extra page much at all. So I think from next week I'm going to go back to just doing day per page. So I think just kind of, yeah, if I find that I'm in a very busy period of life, I try to write something every day, but I just change it up the following week, knowing that actually this is more what I'm capable of. And even if I just have appointments and a few to-do lists, I can even forget writing notes for that day. Although that is the part that I love looking back on. So that's why I do try to write something. But it's very, yeah, I try not to put pressure on myself, because I do want it to be fun and functional. I don't want it to become like a chore. So yeah, this is like ideal. I think for this season of life that I'm in, I don't need 2 pages. So you'll see, like, I'll give you a quick look at my new Stalogy, and you'll see that it's this page is quite blank, and I just don't have as much time to be in my planner as I would like, unfortunately. So yeah, I think I have kind of covered all the questions that I had. I've tried to go through this sort of slowly enough so that you can see, but also not too slow, hopefully, that you kind of found it too boring. I hope that was fun for you guys. It was definitely interesting for me to see all my pages in one sitting. I don't think, like I said, I've ever done that before. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to doing like lots of other planner flips for you guys. These can all now officially go on my bookshelf, and let me just quickly show you, since I mentioned what I meant about my pages. So this week in particular, I set it up like this. This is a Filofax planner that I de-ringed, but I set it up as 2, like, you know, day per 2 page. So I've got like time daily, and then this I just left notes, so I kind of filled it in with a quote or something, and then I had my to-dos here and then notes. And it started off kind of okay, but I was thinking, well, I don't really have tons to do, so that could have actually gone here, but then I don't need a whole page of notes. And then again here, I was kind of like making myself fill this in basically. But yeah, I definitely feel like, you can see here, I haven't even bothered. I do need to go back to just having day per page for now. And if, you know, if there's a day where I need more space, I can just put it on a sticky note. But yeah, that's kind of it. I haven't actually set up next week yet, which I'm going to do now. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me, guys. I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.